Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to a best of 5 showdown between the legendary ChosenOne representing ODM and Mr. IcePowers. Should be some pretty good fun. We're just waiting on ChosenOne right now. Well, looks like he has actually just hopped in while I've been waiting. Hey bud. IcePowers to pick and ban first. Map is set. Cool. Just going to load up my phone here quick so I can see your beautiful comments. And we will get this started. So it's going to be a pretty fun, chilled out best of 5 series. We're doing pick and double ban, standard stuff. If it goes all the way to the 5th game, we are going to do blind picks, which is going to be pretty fun and interesting in itself. Hope you guys are doing all good today. Do I remember which map? Yes, I do. It is Plane of Spiders desynced on me, which has never happened before. I've never had a desync in the game. So we're going to avoid that map at all costs for now. Just want to have a go. Yo, IcePowers, man, just do your best, dude. ChosenOne is incredibly tough competition. I believe it was Season 2 and Season 3 of Death Before Dishonor. He really started to dominate. Him and Flying Taco. It was some really good stuff overall. Hello there. Nice. It looks like IcePowers is picking Vampire Counts, banning High Elves and Dark Elves. Should be some good fun. Who is your money on? What's up, Raptor? How's it going, my dude? Hope you're all good in the herd. Raptor, for those who does not know, is a super cool dude. Also has a Twitch account. Recently streamed the DBD versus, I always forget their names, it's so bad. It's Sons Under the Mountain, I believe, or Sons of the Mountain, in a clan war, which is really damn cool. Actually, I should probably make Raptor a moderator in a sec. See if I can do that now. If he wants to accept the responsibility, that is. Let's hop onto there. Cool. Bam. So Raptor is now a moderator. The first of the channel, I believe. New for life, representing ChosenOne. Who is your money on, guys? Who are you here representing? I believe IcePower is a very good Total War player. I've only seen him on the channel briefly a few times. Unfortunately, we had some real bad internet connections with the pre kind of patched beta. So he couldn't pan the channel last time. But we've got him here now, up against ChosenOne. ChosenOne, as I said previously, a veteran and winner of DBD before this. I reckon the Elves have this, says Sam. Now, Dark Elves are good in pretty much every single matchup, but true Vampire Counts players can, do bits against almost everyone. Which is some good stuff. Indeed. No worries, Mr. Raptor. Oh, man, I'm so excited just to chill out and have some Warhammer games. It's going to be so good. Watching some new tactics. ChosenOne did say he's going to be bringing some pretty new builds that he's going to be trying out here, which is good fun. So he'll put on a show for the folks at homes watching this, which is always good to see. And of course, this is just a friendly, but we are going to be trying to follow the rules as much as possible. We're doing Warhammer Cup rules, which were invented by Shetland Apache and a few other guys who have been knocking around the community for quite a while, which is really useful. Nice set of rules. I think they're just quite coherent and easy to kind of understand and everything. I will eventually move over to banner rules, which I do play in a lot of tournaments. I do like both rule sets. I think they've both got pluses and negatives. Oh, it looks like ChosenOne may actually be going green skins, not Dark Elves. Oh, he banned High Elves and Dark Elves. Ah, okay, so we have Counts up against Let's Go Green and Mean. Yes, we're going to see the war here, lads. We're going to be playing on Outdoor Outskirts as well. Pretty well balanced map overall. Bit of an OG from Total War Warhammer 1. So good stuff. Now this is a pretty interesting matchup. We may actually see the Rogue Idol. This is one of the few engagements I think he can certainly do some decent work. Maybe some Trolls as well, but their low leadership will really suffer here up against the Fear and the Terror. So very interesting to see if we do see the Black Orc Big Boss kind of run in there, giving immune to sight to loads of Trolls who really will do a decent job of beating down infantry very quickly. You can even go toe-to-toe with, Black Knights, pinning Black Coaches, and Mortis Engines, all that kind of good stuff. Show me lizard people, I demand it. I demand it, I agree, Need for Life. Need for Life is an OG of the channel as well, who is a bit of a lizard man main and a beast with them indeed. Rogue Idol really perform here. Yeah, it's one of the few matchups I think the Rogue Idol is going to be very good, is this matchup, as well as against the Beastmen. But at the same time, Beastmen players and Vampire Count players often I suppose, over-invest in units designed to kill anti-large because they do struggle against it so much. They chuck so much money into trying to overcompensate. Perhaps they get caught off guard by maybe a skirmish greenskin build. Who knows? Who knows? I do quite like going hunting packs with lizardmen up against vampire counts. Loads of salamanders, razordons, and you just obliterate the enemy's big monsters with the salamanders, and then just kite the enemy to death, which is a decent way of playing. Dabigan can work versus dwarfs, beastmen, and tomb kings. I'd love to see it against the Dowie. I feel it's going to get shot to pieces, but at the same time, if they haven't brought too much ranged firepower, maybe preparing for more of a rush build coming from the greenskins, yeah, it could do some decent stuff. How's it going, Joel? Hope you're all good. And Shelby, is that your actual name, or have you named yourself after Arthur Shelby from Peaky Blinders? Which is a fantastic show. I love Peaky Blinders. Cool, cool. Let these boys sort it out. Average wait, what? That Biggin can do stuff? Yeah, I'm not sure how we're doing up against the dwarves. I mean, Tomb Kings as well, it's going to be a little bit rough. I mean, with your Shopsy bows and so forth. And their big kitty cats, but it's your actual name. Oh, okay. That's what I mean. So, Minotaurs and Terrorgeese are, like, as you said, the most cost-effective units in the game. But Vampire Counts notoriously struggle up against large because you can only bring like 1 or 2 Terrorgeese, and Minotaurs as well can get a little bit expensive to kind of spam them. But every time I go Lizardmen, I will always see a swarm of Terrorgeese and a swarm of Minotaurs to help deal with the anti-large, because the rest of the armies aren't very good at doing it. So often you can kind of play mind games with them, not take the big dinosaurs. But at the same time, Minotaurs can be a pain against all kind of Lizardmen. By order of the Peaky Blinders, indeed. Indeed. Sam O'Dell knows what's up. Or Sam O'Dell, sorry. Peaky Blinders, what a show. So we're going to be playing here for so we are playing on the beta, so hopefully there's going to be no crashes, bugs, any of that horrible nasty stuff which has plagued the recent live streams. It does not seem to have fixed too much, the beta, because the Ruination of Cities hasn't even been fixed on Mazdamundi even with this update. It's still going in one direction, which is a little bit unfortunate, but at the same time it can, I suppose, overhelp and kind of pay decent as well. You do not think Vampire Counts and Beastmen struggle against large, Aristo. I think you're one of the few who think that, bro. Beastmen are notoriously known for struggling versus large. They've normally have to rely on Centaurs with throwing axes. But if you look at, for example, Falcon's guide to those matchups with Lizardmen, it will be a load of big dinosaurs, like Mazdamundi on Zlak, Carnosaurs, or other big Stegodons and so forth. But they definitely struggle up against the big beasties. 12k health is no joke. I mean, it can do decent, it can catch up and off guard, but it's really slow and cumbersome, so you can just leave it till the end. But again, Vampire Counts, of course, can't really afford to kind of kite anything, of course, being an all-combat, very slow-moving force overall. But people like, I mean, Tomb Kings, I guess, can struggle, and Dwarfs, but with Dwarfs with guns would probably be able to tear it down relatively effectively. But it'd be good to see it. Good to see it in action. I'm doing some work. I'm surprised that kind of pre-release of the latest DLC, everyone was kind of raving about pump wagons and so forth, and how very powerful they're going to be. But I haven't really seen any around. Have you guys faced them on the ladder that often at all? Because I've barely faced any, and every time I've used them, I've not actually had particularly great success. But that could just be me, and normally my lack of use with chariots and so forth. Looks like ChosenOne is ready, going under the name of Steve today. Let's get this cracking. You got to blob up the force of engagements around your idol in this matchup. Unpopular opinion, Peaky Blinders over Game of Thrones. Oh, Sam, that is a wild accusation. I don't know. Maybe Game of Thrones as a whole, because it kind of dropped off the last couple of seasons. It was still enjoyable. It was nowhere near as bad as people were kind of raving about, but it did definitely drop off once they got past the books, even earlier than I think people noticed. With a dialogue in particular, and Peaky Blinders is always top notch. I'm trying to think of the name of the writer of the show, but he also does Taboo with Tom Hardy, and the film Lock, which is a really good film. Stephen Knight, I believe, is the creator of Peaky Blinders, and it's always on point. It's so good. It's a very different type of show, though. The pump wagon's got nerfs, see even less of them. The high elf, like people who hate high elves rejoice. Their spearmen did get a little bit of a nerf. A little bit of a cost increase and so forth. What are they called again? The heavy spearmen. God, I haven't played Total War in about a week and I've forgotten all the names already. But I'm sure we'll see them if we do see some high elves in action. So here we go. Aldorf Outskirts, beautiful map. The forces of the Empire are going to be carrying behind these walls here, of course. I don't want to get engaged in any of this nastiness here. I love them both. Yeah. They're both very good shows. Wagons are too easy of a target to hit. Well, even when they've just charged into combat, I haven't seen them do like the crazy amount of damage that I was seeing pre-patch. I'm not sure if they got like a hidden sneak nerf or something before actual release, or kind of what happened with them. But anyway, let's hop in here and have a little look at IcePower Total War's build, representing the Vampire Counts. I'm sure if Poison Ducky does watch this back, he's going to be a very happy man indeed. So he's gone for the classic... Oh, maybe not classic claw here. So he does have the double Banshees, which is a pretty big staple in a ton of Vampire Counts builds recently. They don't do the huge amount of damage, but consistent sneaky stabbing people over the course of an entire battle can really work up the opponent, and the Ethereal is pretty useful, as well as terror routes in the late game. We do have the Claw of Nagash as well, Regiment Renowned Mortis Engine, can do some decent work, and a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord on foot. Very interesting, don't get to see this guy too much on his foot model. I love the dual wielding sword tower. He's going to be bringing the Heart Piercing, Helm of Discord as well, so maybe going for a bit of a blob build here. Sword of Anti-Heroes, Raise Dead, the Dance Macabre, and of course Invocation of Nehek. I don't know the last time I saw a Counts build without Invocation of Nehek. So we have double Crypt Horrors as well in the centre pocket, and they're going to be protected by the Sternsmen as well as some Skeleton Spearmen. A long fat line of zombies to soak up the initial charge and damage. We have 1 unit of Blood Knights as well protecting the rear, and also some doggos, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure we just saw some snake dogs. Here they are. We have double dire wolves, one of them being the dire pack, the other one being silver chevron, so quite a lot of money chucked into these boys, but unbreakable doggos are very, very powerful indeed. So yeah, going for a bit of a death blob rush build should be some good fun. Now for the forces of ChosenOne here and the greenskins, in the front line he does have forest goblin spider rider archers, triple of those. They're going to be pretty decent. They can slowly poke down the low armoured crypt horrors and so forth, and there's not too much that can catch them apart from those dogs. We have Savage Orc Biggins in the front line, mixing with the Regiment of Renowned as well. These are the unbreakable ones. 8 Peak Loonies, so they should be spinning and flinging around their lovely loons of the 8 peaks. So double Savage Orc Biggins. We also have Orc Biggins in the secondary line here. We have a load of Orc Araboys, Savage Orcs as well. Yeah, double Orc Biggins, double Orc Araboys. Some Savage Orcs in the back line, and we do indeed have River Trolls. What is this? We have double River Trolls, not the Regiment of Renowned version. Now, these stinky boys can do some pretty cool stuff. Overwhelming Odor does give that -6 melee attack, which in those big engagements up against the Counts could be useful, but are considered by most not to be the most competitive. So interesting to see how they work. They're going to have help by an Orc Shaman, who's brought Brainbuster, Fist of Gork, and Scroll of Shielding. A Black Orc Big Boss on top of his mighty boar, looking glorious here. Going to be giving it the immune to psych to the trolls, as well as Snarsnick as well. And the Fungi guys has been nerfed, so despite the Bad Moon, it's still very powerful, but the Fermented Fungi does only rampage now for, I can't remember how many seconds, maybe 16, but I think it has been reduced anyway from what it was. So early on in the gates here, Forest Goblin Spyros are going to push forward, but simply poking down zombies isn't going to do too much. The Dire Pack is hidden in the trees here, so they're certainly going to be able to lap all the way around and hopefully feast on these Orc Araboys. Looks like we just have some good luck, have fun. Always good to see some great sportsmanship here. As Arrow Fire slowly trickles in on the Blood Knights, but it's not going to be doing too much damage, to be honest. You're thinking of Silverin. Thank you very much. Yes, Silverin Guard are the ones who have had a points increase and slight changes to stats, but nothing too big, to be honest. So consistent fight is going to be coming into the Blood Knights. These guys do have a bronze shield hammer, so they're not going to mind too much at this point, but every little bit of damage does help. I'm assuming a lot of the invocations are going to be used on them anyway, however. As the Greenskins simply wait here, they don't need to advance at this point. Just take stock of the enemy army and figure out the best forms of attack. Now, I quite like the Savage Orc Biggin pick here. We're interested to see how they perform. With 0 armor, no matter what they're up against, even zombies, they will take some form of damage. However, they're going to be pretty good at ripping through these Skeleton Spearmen very quickly, as well as dealing with the Crypt Horrors with their bonus versus large. Forest Goblin Spyros are scuttering back now. Their movement's always going to creep me out a little bit. They do fall back behind the front lines. It looks like the Dire Pack has started to advance, but ChosenOne has noticed this with his Savage Orcs. It looks like he's also going to be pulling back some more troops as well in the form of the Spider Riders, trying to protect his Orc Araboys as much as possible. A nice use of the terrain with this rock to stop there kind of being an early access point in here. A few shots are going, and in come the Knight Goblins as well. Just going to be charging into the blob to try and slow down the enemy as much as possible, but in comes the Black Orc Big Boss as well, going full Leroy Jenkins here. Fanatics do come through, but they absolutely destroy their own troops, unfortunately, nuking the Night Goblins, and basically not catching any of the undead forces. That was really unfortunate there. Can happen, unfortunately, when it comes to those guys, a little bit unpredictable. Zombies being killed up very quickly up against Savage Orc Biggins, and in come the River Trolls as well, destroying zombies left, right and centre, but it is mainly going to be a big old fat blob fight in the middle, as Hell of Discord comes down, destroying these River Trolls. The Black Orc Big Boss is going to struggle in here as well, with Snarsnake even. We do see a Scroll of Shielding come down on top of the Orc Shaman to keep him alive, and a Spite of the Bad Moon as well to buff up all these nearby troops. Now, for the rest of the battlefield, the Greenskins are simply mopping up zombies and so forth, as you can see. And in the back lines, it looks like the die pack have been forced off, and upgraded Invocation the Heck going to be healing those guys up. It looks like they managed to force off one Forest Goblin Spider Rider, but then got tangled up with some Savage Orcs. The centre pocket is fighting now, but without the die pack putting the pressure on, we've got double archers as well as triple Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Well, it looks actually one ran away, didn't it? So two of those guys going to be doing some consistent fire over the course of the whole battle will certainly help. Helm of Discord has stopped working now. Scroll of Shielding still active on this Orc Shaman. The Snarsnake going to be sneaking out of here. He doesn't want to be drawing a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. He is still simply a Goblin at the end of the day, and in comes the Y. It has been popped. River Trolls have been forced back as well, taking a little bit of a breather here. They have time to heal up. And it looks like the Claw of Nagash did have to fall back, unfortunately, from the main engagement after taking a huge amount of beating here. But it really needs to be in the front line to help out. Banshees do what Banshees do, trying to hero snipe here and take down the Black Orc Big Boss. But he is simply going to retreat behind the Savage Orc Biggins, who did a pretty decent job. So it looks like a Fermented Fungi did go down here, but it wasn't enough to rampage the Blood Knights, simply going to be used to lower their melee defense by 24, which is pretty powerful. Unfortunately, the River Trolls do start to crowd, but in comes some Orc Biggins as well as Snarsnake, pinning in these Blood Knights who are now rampaging. Looks didn't last too long at all there, have regained control of themselves. Die pack is being chucked in here as well. Looks like the more direwolves trying to force their way into the back line and hunt down these Forest Goblin Spider Riders, but nice play by Chosen, dragging them through the Trolls, who will feast on doggies all day. Nice consistent archer fire going up on top of the Claw of Nagash, but the centre pocket has been won here by the Vampire Count, still going strong with their hero core as well as some of the Crypt Horrors. But nice map control so far by ChosenOne, picking and choosing his fights, slowing down that main centre pocket engagement and simply clearing up all the other targets, which he doesn't have to take that centre big blob engagement if he doesn't want to. So those Blood Knights are being forced off now, down to 7 models. It looks like these guys are going to be disintegrating as some of the undead horses have been and lost their little masters there, and they ride them away into the woods. That'd be a horrible sight to come across. The Claw of Nagash is consistently being shot now. Now, it's relatively tanky, but at the same time, over the course of the whole battle, it will eventually drain itself down. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is drawing Snarsnake, which is a nice pick, and a good way back into the game. If he can somehow assassinate Snarsnake here, there's certainly a way back into this for the Vampire Counts, but unfortunately, it looks like they are slowly being ground out here. Looks like we are going to be having a big Spite of the Bad Moon down, giving that nice bonus versus large, which is so goddamn key. Now, Snarsnake is being crumped here a little bit. He needs to sneak away as fast as possible. Black Orc Big Boss is here for protection as well. And he can certainly pack a punch himself, especially with the War activated. Over in the distance, Claw of Nagash once again still just trying to juke shots where possible. Does need to get involved in this big blob fight to try and help out. Forest Goblin Spyros have now all lurked around into the rear. The direwolves are hot on their tails. It's like stock of any kind of routing and returning units. It looks like we do have some River Trolls who are happy to regen here. Nice Brainbuster going down on the zombies, helping protect the Orc Araboys. And more consistent fire is going in, and it looks like the Counts are going to be ground out here. Snarsnake is struggling a little bit in the centre pocket. It looks like he's surrounded by a Banshee now as well. He's got some Troll support. He should be able to just about sneak out of here. Even if he breaks he has plenty of room to run into. The Banshees, though, doing a decent job, down to just 1,900 health on Snarsnake, and there's still a lot of terror on the field as well, so if we can try and break them... Oh, but really nice play. Fermented Fungi has been popped down on top of the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, which should hopefully allow Snarsnake to escape, but the double Banshees are hunting this Gobbo down, and he is legging it for the hills. He has started to rout, down to just 400 health. If he gets finished off, perhaps there is a chance here with the Banshees, which of course do cause terror, and the low leadership of the Greenskins. But I think they'd also have to probably finish off this Orc Shaman as well to really help break the leadership. And down goes Snarsnake. Looks like some River Trolls do desperately come in just to save his life at least, even though he has completely gone from the battlefield. Banshee as well can do some okay against River Trolls, but it's not the perfect engagement. They still hit pretty hard. And we can already see some of the Savage Orc Biggins are starting to waver, so as soon as that frenzy wears off, they're no longer immune to psychology. We do have the Black Orc Big Boss lurking around there, who of course can give that, but he needs to stay close to this main pocket. There's a nice summon of zombies here, and the double banshees are going to be hunting down that Orc Shaman who's running for the hills here. In comes the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, and it looks like they've managed to snipe the Orc Shaman as well. He's currently terrified. He needs to retreat through his troops and grind out these heroes with his Orc Biggins. A nice play as well coming in by ChosenOne, just resting a lot of his troops, firing in archers where he needs to, and also regening his trolls. You can see their health ticking up consistently here. Nice Helm of Discord has gone down. Black Orc Big Boss, not wanting to get assassinated, is just sticking relatively nearby to try and help out with those horrible terror routes and so forth. As the double Banshees and Blood Dragon Vampire Lord are all that remain of the Count's build. And they still have a few troops in. There are 102. Where are they dotted around? Do they have more troops? Oh, they've just summoned some zombies. There we go. Have some summon zombies as well, but they're not going to be doing too much, trying to keep the balance of power as even as possible. And I suppose they still do tie down and bog down these Orc Biggins, who are having a whale of a time here, cleaving undead limb from limb. Slippery has been popped on the Banshees as well. Looks like the Trolls have been terror-outed once again and forced off, as well as some Orc Biggins as well. It's going to be interesting to see how much magic this Orc Shaman has left, but the Greenskin centre pocket has broken and the balance of power starts to ebb a little bit more back into the middle. Is this going to be an insane comeback from the Counts? Now, the Trolls, though, this entire time are going to be regenerating, but if they do break too many times, they will eventually just shatter, just despite the amount of health they have. Banshees are now going to be hunting down this Orc Shaman where possible, but nice play, going to be fleeing for the hills and pinning in these guys with the Orc Biggins. This is an incredibly close game. This is very close stuff indeed. So did Snarsnick completely die? So I believe if a Lord just routes off, you don't get the huge negative until he's completely gone, but I may be wrong there. Black Orc Big Boss is running for the hills, 835 health. Double Banshees are chasing him down. They definitely want to stay close to this Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, but they may be able to break him. They've broken the Black Orc Big Boss here. In comes the Forest Goblin Spider Riders being sacrificed in order to save him, and he should return to the field with the leadership of the Orc Shaman thereby. Yeah, he's already on to 12 leadership, and he's certainly going to be able to get the distance between himself and these Banshees. But this is incredibly close. The Forest Goblin Spider Riders probably just want to use up all of their ammunition before the Greenskins do once again engage, before getting some nice surrounds overall. It's probably worth pinning down the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. He's relatively close to his healing cap, and once he's gone, the Banshees' leadership should hopefully waver. Black Orc Big Boss still running for the hills. He has a very long way to go, however. It looks like he has just about rallied. In comes some charging by the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, and the consistent archer fire as well is obviously making him follow the attacking rule. The Forest Goblin Spider is going to keep darting away. The Banshees certainly, want to get over here and hunt down this Orc Shaman where possible. But if he dies, the penalty stays. Oh, thank you, Aristemos. Just seen that dude. Perfect. So yeah, you definitely want him to die as quickly as possible. Savage Orc Biggins are charging in here, but again, they're not really going to be able to do too much damage. The Greenskins are so beat up. I think losing Snarsnick is what's made this game so close. If he'd managed to escape and just not be involved as much in that centre pocket battle, the Greenskins probably would have had this by now, but so many of their units are wavering. River Trolls as well as Orc Biggins are wavering just simply by being near to the Banshees, if I can get my words out there. It looks like the Orc Shaman as well has been caught a little bit. Once again, being terror routed off. Helm of Discord has popped in, so it looks like the Greenskins are coming in for a final engagement, trying to get a nice surround on these guys. Helm of Discord is certainly going to help out lowering that melee attack and melee defense with some summoned zombies as well. They can certainly, bog down these troops and do some okay damage, I suppose, against Orc Alboys, at least while the Helm of Discord has been popped. Looks like Savage Orcs have broken here. River Trolls just chilling out on the flanks. And yeah, more Greenskins trying to rally over here. You can even see the healing cap coming in on the River Trolls here. Orc Boys trying their best in combat. They're not bad combat troops, at least for archer units. And they're just cleaving their way through zombies quite happily. But at the same time, this isn't really the engagement they want to be in too much. Blood Dragon Vampire Lord up to 60 kills now. Certainly putting in some decent work. So I don't know. I really don't know if they've got enough to grind this out. Balance Power has for the first time gone in favour of the Vampire Counts. If they can assassinate the characters of the Greenskins, it's certainly all over. And it looks like the Spiders are starting to run out of ammunition. And of course, when they do, he's going to have to commit to a long-term close quarters engagement. We still have a few volleys though left on these guys. And these guys are consistently shooting them as well. But both Banshees are complete full health. Blood Dragon Vampire Lord as well is pretty much, you know, over half health, not quite 2/3 there. Some zombies are going to be dissipating, however. As it looks like the Archer fight is pretty much gone. Once these Forest Goblin Spyros do use up their last few volleys. Only 1 kill on those bad boys so far. But in they come. And let's see how many volleys you boys have left. 2 volleys left, and once I'll just let them know. Once ammo is up, both must engage. Oh, I won't bother sending that yeah, because it looks like this is already kicking off. As the Orc Shaman has once again been tear-outed here, down to just 216 health. Orc Biggins, as soon as they get closer to this Banshee, do start to run away. Looks like the Banshees are going to leave that Orc Shaman to rally, which may not be the best idea here. However, it looks like the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord has been isolated from his Banshee protection. Black Orc Big Boss does come in for the kill, but once again retreats as soon as he sees Helm of Discord popped. Really nice counter-punch play there by the Count. The Orc Shaman may rally here, 216 health, but negative 28 leadership. He is probably going to be gone. And I think the Counts are going to grind this out. The Helm of Discord has been very clutch in these big engagements. River Trolls are still here and fighting. Black Orc Big Boss trying to dodge combat as much as possible. But these Banshees are notoriously fast swooping in as they kind of swim through the air. But some very brave Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers do pounce in to try and shut these guys down as much as possible. Vampire Lord has been surrounded by River Trolls. Now this is a brilliant way back into the game by ChosenOne. This is the type of matchup he wants. But in overcomes a Banshee. And these guys could get tear-outed once more. They are still at 4,100 hit points here, which is very tasty. And the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, he's leadership getting a little bit low here. He definitely needs to blow up with his Banshees. As you can see, Banshees have been isolated as well. These guys need to be fighting on top of each other. As the River Trolls, though, do slowly start going down. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, a deadly combatant, especially with Sword of Anti-Heroes popped as well. He's slowly taking down these River Trolls down to 5 medals. Black Orc Big Boss trying his best to do a nice little bit of cycle charge him. The Banshees are just taking very limited damage here. The only way to really drag them down with what he has left is going to be army losses and kind of surround them and breaking leadership. Black Orc Big Boss trying his best to lead these green-skinned forces, of course giving that a very important immune psychology. They certainly want to be hanging around as long as possible. That is probably what's actually keeping these River Trolls fighting, but the Black Orc Big Boss routes! That is a bit of a disaster. He's going to go too far away, and then these Banshees are certainly going to start paying their dues here. As you can see, instantly, Orc Biggins are starting to wave over here. As the Banshee once again tries hopping on the second unit of River Trolls. So can the Trolls carry the day? The Black Orc Big Boss is running for the hills. It looks like that Orc Shaman did disappear earlier as well. He is currently minus 17, minus 20 leadership. Balance power going heavily against the greenskins here. Another Helm of Discord has been popped down. Trolls shatter, and that is going to be game to IcePower. What a game! That was insane! What a comeback by IcePower, showing the real strength in a strong hero core. Double Banshees are so nasty to deal with if you are not prepared for them. And I believe, Aristodemus, you owe someone 20 lizard trinkets. So that is going to be game 1 to the mighty IcePowers. GG. The next map we will do will be Toothgrass Hill. So I'll come and chat to you guys in just a second. Toothgrass Hill next. Chosen to pick and Ben. Oh, he's gone Bretonia and bans nothing. A bold man indeed. So let's update the scoreboard. And IcePower does take that first game 1-0. Cool stuff. Oh, Toothgrass Hill. Infinity Summon cheat detected. I love it. Should still work when we load in. Big map with a hill on the right. And open plains with some trees on the flank. Just in case he doesn't know the map. Oh, looks like he has actually dropped out, so he should be hopping back in, I assume. Let's have a little look at the map. What's up, guys? I can actually come chill with you now while ChosenOne does load back in, so that first game was pretty damn good. Always finish off Shadow Lords if you can. That is some fantastic advice there by Aristodemus. What's up, Pactor? How's it going, man? Representing? Oh, man, I've missed so many people during that battle. What's up, dog? Hope you're doing all good, man. Hello, yes. Hope you're all good. Grabones as well. Yes, Pactor is celebrating. I actually forgot to reply to you, man. I hope it's really nice out there in Sweden. Show me a beautiful picture of him enjoying the sunshine. So we have Bretonia versus Dowie. Oof. This is really rough for ChosenOne in my opinion. But we'll see how it does go. Don't play Dowie much, so it should make it fair. Good stuff there. What's up, Magnus? Hope you're doing good, man. And Mr. A-Move, I see you in chat. The boy Red Legion. The mad lad. Yeah, about those lizard trinkets. Yeah, Aristo, you've gone quiet all of a sudden. Yeah, what a grind fest. Yeah, the double Banshee is incredibly popular now. It's kind of become the new meta, or at least from what I've seen, overtaking the double White King, which kind of used to be quite popular back in the day. But if you're not prepared to take down the Banshees, they're so goddamn sticky, and that terror into the late game is really powerful. Of course, Vampire Count's battles always tend to go on for a long time, and you can at least grind down your opponent to allow that terror to affect pretty damn good. Damn, that was an awesome game. It was indeed. Hello, Slick Nillis as well. Good to see you around. A confident man right there. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far and that first game. If you want to support the channel, please do hit that big old thumbs up button. And if you are new, welcome, welcome. We do all things Total War. So feel free to subscribe. It's all good stuff. I may have another video up later today, I'm not sure. I might just leave it at this one. And obviously I work weekends, so next video will probably be out on Monday. ChosenOne, not a fan of the Dowie, it would seem. I quite enjoy Dowie. I think they're pretty hard to play. At least play well against top competitive players. But Bretonia versus Dowie is pretty damn rough. Now, ChosenOne, I think, is more known for his elf play. So he's obviously trying out a few different builds and so forth in this best of 5. What's up, Poison Ducky? Hope you're doing all good, man. You just missed a fantastic Vampire Counts game as IcePower did a pretty damn impressive comeback up against ChosenOne's Greenskins. I didn't forget about you, Red Legion. I said my boy. I'm good. Just finished an art commission on Repons. That is awesome. I did not know you do art. Oh, if you would send me a picture of it, that'd be pretty damn cool. I might be able to use it for a screen blocker at some point. Raptor certainly will be the end of us. Do you think we'll see the Aero Titan today? I'm not sure if either of these guys played Tomb Kings. I'm not so sure on IcePower's favoured factions and so forth. I've seen him a little bit less. But ChosenOne tends to go more elf-based factions, but I think I've seen him play Tomb Kings before, so perhaps. I know it's a bit different, but would you play Mount and Blade? I've never played it. So perhaps in the future, if I ever get it, I would be happy to stream it on the channel. Yeah, the Dual White Kings is a good alternative as well. It can do some decent work. I don't know why it's been switching to Banshees more and more, but they are very good. They're quite pesky. I do enjoy how they're hitting them with a hand of gods with Crocodile and watch them just disappear in front of you. It's some glorious stuff. Toothgrass Hill, pretty fun map. Hopefully we won't have any problems loading into this one. So I do actually need to message CA because I'm not sure if it's a map bug with everyone. I'll have to do some testing. But yeah, we had a desync the other day with Plane of Spiders. I'll play some Tomb King, says IcePower. Ooh, nice, nice. So perhaps you will get to see your wish. Gonna have to step out, Ducky, keep them contained. I will try my best. There's a few people I need to make moderators actually as well. I should probably have made Poison Ducky one a while ago. Well, I believe last time I did leave him alone with my chat, he caused a riot. And a complete uproar, I believe. No one can contain us. See what I mean? Just I'm like, oh, we could make Poison Ducky a moderator, and he's like, no one can contain us. The power I willed is too much. Have a little sip while we wait for these guys. Boom, looks like ChosenOne is locked in and ready. Certainly hoping we see some filled trebuchets today. Not sure the best way to play this matchup. You're going to struggle with the trebuchets if, of course, the Dowie have brought any form of kind of artillery, especially the cannons, who can dismantle them very quickly. And the Grindfest really does not help out the Bretonnians. Okay, let's go. Looks like IcePower is ready to rock and roll. Who is your money on? Do you think the boy IcePower can take this to a 2-0 early on? Or is ChosenOne going to scrap his way back into this game in a really tough matchup here? Going Bretonnians and banning no one is a bold move indeed. Bretonnians considered by most, I think, to be the worst faction in the game. They certainly have some very good matchups and some even ones as well. They're only considered the worst, I think, because of the sheer amount of bad matchups they have. So not banning anyone is pretty damn tough. Poison Ducky's poison causes rampage on the chat, indeed. Just do what Soothsayer did at the Ever Chosen. I can't remember, unfortunately. We are going to be having Soothsayer on the channel again relatively soon, however. We are going to be having the Season 4 finals next week, if all the players can make it. I know Noob for Life was having some troubles with the beta and it kind of crashing his game a lot. So we're going to check on that, make sure the update has worked for his computer and so forth. And that'll be coming either next Wednesday or Thursday, hopefully. And that is going to be featuring Tlaxlan, Soothsayer, Inticity, Noob for Life, and Tank, which is a ridiculous talent pool. It's going to be insane. Quick, Poison Ducky, redouble your fee. No, my lizard trinkets. So, let's have a quick look at these builds. So, for the forces of IcePower, who is in the Incendants, God, I completely blanked on that word there. He's doing very good. We have the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass here, who just look glorious. Look at these flaming axes, and the red colour scheme is actually how I would probably paint dwarfs if I owned them on tabletop. We do have Longbeards with great weapons as well, which is a pretty interesting pick. A mix of some Dwarf Warriors with great weapons dotted all the way along. So Dwarf Warriors and Longbeards for a pretty bad to the bones core here. He does have double Thunderers as well for some long range firepower. A single cannon just to help deal with trebuchets and can do some decent damage to knights. Then we have the double Slayers. Do we have the Dragonbacks? We do indeed. These guys are almost a must pick in kind of, I'd say like 90% of the matches. They're got a nice slow and just better stats all round. So double Slayers to help protect the back line and drag down cavalry. Looks like he has gone for a Feign, which is pretty interesting. I haven't seen a Feign in a while. Just a standard Feign. So he is going to be completely naked. Of course, a ton of armour, but apart from that, completely naked. Speaking of a dwarf who actually is majority naked, we have Gotrek as well coming in here with the White Dwarf. That is a powerful hero corner. I like to pick up the White Dwarf here, mainly for his smoke bomb to pin in nasty cavalry. Now, for the forces of ChosenOne, it looks like we have very limited cav, which is probably a very bold and wise idea, actually. He has men-at-arms, it looks like, across the main battle line. So we have, oh no, Foot Squires. Foot Squires pretty decent, they have nice AP, and they are going to be silver chevrons up here as well. So mass men-at-arms and Foot Squires in the secondary line. Front line is going to be some peasant mobs, the backbone, the true killers in the old world. If you want something killed, whack it with a shovel. These guys certainly know their work. We have 4 archers, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 archers in the back lines. Looks like some of them are rocking the pox arrows as well for some nice poison. We have 1 unit of Quest Knights in the centre pocket, which are anti-infantry, which can do some decent work, and some Quest Knights on the left-hand flank as well. There is going to be a single filled trebuchet, nicely positioned on the hill as well, so that cannon won't be able to shoot it directly, at least. We do have the Feign Chargers on foot, looking the wrong way here, floating through the skies, and she is going to be coming in, if we can select her here. She is kind of hidden inside these guys. Give us the Fae. There we go. Coming in with just simply an Earthblood and a Chalice. And it looks like all the way down here we do have a Damsel with Manticore Summon and Amber Spear. Now Amber Spear is something I quite like. I love this little bodyguard he's rocking. The men-at-arms as a bodyguard for the Damsel walking through the trees is pretty damn cool. So Amber Spear, you wouldn't think it does too good against dwarfs because it is a magic missile. However, it has a decent amount of AP in it. If you get it on the flanks, down, say, this side, it will just keep going. It will tear through all of these Dowie, getting some fantastic damage. Good luck, have fun from both players. Always good to see, as the dwarfs are going to start pushing up until their cannon is in range. I'm in lizard trinket debt. Oh no. So who's your money on, guys, now that you've seen the builds? It's going to be interesting. I don't know if the Foot Squires are going to trade very effectively up against the Longbeards, is my main concern. They do great against the Dwarf Warriors. Quest Knights as well do have a good application here, as long as they can avoid those Slayers. Now, the Peasant Archers are going to do huge work here, so really nice play, actually, by ChosenOne, taking the high ground with the Field Trebuchet. There's a lovely Arc of Fire. Going to be dropping some of those fat shots over the top. Now, it does have a range of 440, whereas this cannon has a range of 440 as well, but due to the hill and the Arc of Fire of the cannon, I'm not sure this cannon can actually see the Trebuchet, but the Trebuchet can see the Dowie, which is some really lovely position in there. Okay, well, cannon was a waste on this map. It can certainly still drag the opponent in, but good play here by the Bretons, who of course can take the high ground much quicker. Now, these Foot Squires, or Men-at-Arms, sorry, and Damsel of Beasts haven't been spotted yet in the back line, so maybe I'll just swoop in and take down the cannon, which will do some pretty decent work. The Damsel of Beasts as well can obviously quickly escape on her mighty steed. Cannon is now getting some shots into the Field Trebuchet, which is going to be some good work. So the Bretons will still be able to charge down the hill, but the Dowie should be able to hold their relatively defensive formation. It honestly might be worth taking these guys off the Trebuchet and hiding them once again behind the hill until the cannon has once again been distracted. Just stress the micro of the Dowie as much as possible. Now out comes the Damsel of Beast. Just chilling down the flank here, probably looking to get 1 or 2 ambush shots in. Looks like the Trebuchet is going to continue to fire. Not the most accurate of siege engines, unfortunately. Still got 0 kills right now. Looks like these guys, no, they're still going to be standing there and shooting down to 2 models now. And in come the Men-at-Arms, trying that sneaky rear attack. And surely we're going to see an amber spear down the side of these Longbeards with great weapons. That'd be some fantastic value. Looks like he's just going to be chilling for now, as the cannon does launch a few more shots into the Trebuchet. It is struggling to hit a little bit here. Still, you do see peasants going flying in all directions, which is always some good fun. Are we going to see an Amber Spear, Damsel Beast? I believe in you. I believe that's Amber Spear. Yes, it is Amber Spear, of course. So, Men-at-Arms are starting to move forward and engage. I don't know if IcePower has spotted this yet, but he still does have Slayers back here, which will be able to fend them off, of course, not trade super effectively. And in comes the Archer line. Now, this is going to be pretty key. The 5 Archers, there's nothing really that's going to be able to trade super effective against them. There's no Quarrelers or Rangers or anything. So the Thunderers are going to be pretty key. It looks like a big old fat Amber Spear is going to be coming, arcing down their lines. And look at that damage, down to half health instantly. And it crashes through the second battle line as well. Seemed to disappear mid-air there and reappear further down, but some huge damage coming in with some really good play coming in by that Damsel, up to 39 kills straight away, and the Archer line has pushed forward as well. They're going to keep constantly firing into the great weapons, and of course great weapons don't have those shields, so they're going to be taking a little bit more damage. Dragonback Slayers have been left in reserve to protect the cannon from these pesky Men-at-Arms, but again, you know, it is keeping them away from the fight for as long as possible, as the brave peasants of Pretoria charge into the glorious warriors of Dragonfire Pass, and they will get cleaved. Look at their health just deteriorate here up against the mighty dwarf warriors. Fane is jumping in here as well, but at the same time, they're peasants. They're there just to slow down this Dowie advance and do their best. Ferroman's Court has been summoned here, can quite comfortably go over these back lines. These poor Dragonback Slayers will not be able to protect both Thunderers and the cannon against a Manticore and Men-at-Arms pressure. It looks like the Cav has now engaged in the front lines, and the Slayers, Grombriddle has popped no fear, are going to be able to hop on top of these guys. A Flash Bomb keeps the Question Knights incredibly slow here, so this could be a dead unit. However, it looks like we may see the Chalice of, I believe it's the Chalice dropping in, which is basically a comment of Cassandra onto this big blob here, which would be some glorious damage. It takes so long to cast, but boom! Down it comes in a glorious powder smoke there of dead Dowie. So getting some pretty decent connection on multiple units overall. Only 9 kills, however, but still the HP damage is pretty solid. Foot Squires are starting to push in now from the flanks and from their backup positions. In the back lines, it looks like Ferroman's Court has hopped down on top of these Slayers and Thunderers, trying their best, and more Question Knights are going to be swooping in as well. In the back lines, the Men-at-Arms were dispatched with very nice efficiency and professional effectiveness from these Dragonback Slayers, who once again are now going to turn to try and protect this back line as much as possible. Damsel Beast just chilling for now, but a nice surround coming in by Foot Squires. Looks like a bit of a misplay here as Peasant Bowmen do start to charge into glorious combat, which is not really where they want to be, I don't think. Question Knights as well, going to be doing some nice cycle charging, breaking down the Dwarf advance here. There is still having some quite healthy Longbeards, and a ton of Slayers still left alive. Another Amber Spear does come in, doing a humongous damage to these Thunderers. One unit is already terrified and running for the hills as well. Peasant Bowmen do start moving in. They can easily take down this cannon with 1 or 2 accurate volleys. Gotrek is going to be tough, so it looks like IcePower is a big fan of hero cores. Last time we saw the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord as well as Double Banshee, and this time it is going to be Grombrindle, Gotrek, and a Thane. However, Gotrek is relatively tanky because he does get his regen and so forth and has a decent amount of HP, but enough Peasant Arrows filling him up will slowly drag him down here. So Archer's trying to push back those Dragonback Slayers. Nice play by Ice Powers as well, trying to keep them out of range as much as possible. Back come those Men-at-Arms for a second round. Going to be trying to hop on top of the cannons. But there's a nice firing arc now coming in from multiple angles from the Bretonnians. And I think they're slowly starting to grind through this Dowie force. Gotrek still going strong alongside Grombrindle, but the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass have started to flee. And Longbeards are getting very weak and wary as well. Looks like the Damsel is moving up as well. Perhaps time for another shot, or maybe even a summon coming in. And it looks like in the back lines, those Men-at-Arms are slowly being overwhelmed. They've done some okay damage, however, themselves, up to 5 kills. And they are pinning in all these Slayers, so some nice accurate Archer fire can come in and do some decent work. Amber Spear does come down on these Longbeards, but a lot less effective this time. She probably just wants to pop back up onto these Thunderers. Now there's only 12 of them, and shutting them down wouldn't be too hard. The Thane is on the warpath. He needs to kind of get back with his little crew here as much as possible, but the Dwarf force is simply being systematically picked apart, and this hero core I don't think is going to have quite the same impact as the one from the Vampire Counts had, simply because they're not ethereal and there's a lot of armor piercing still left on the field. Thunderers are slowly going down here. Slayer's still going pretty strong here in the back pocket, keeping this cannon firing the entire game, up to 56 kills. These peasants really need to shut this down as quickly as possible. Looks like they are more focused on the Thunderers. More peasant mobs and foot squires are coming to surround Gotrek, the Thane, and Grombrindle where possible. Huge cannon fire doing really good choice targeting here into that massive blob of troops which has surrounded his own. Up to 63 kills, but it looks like the Damsel is going to be getting back here. But once again, good Dragonback Slayer play. Going to be coming in to protect her as much as possible. Looks like we are going to see a summoned Manticore coming in just to try and help assist shut this bad boy down. We do have Men-at-Arms pushing into the back lines, as well as the Slayers slowly getting worn down here, just down to 25 models, which is not much at all. Looks like we're probably going to see the... I'm going to double check the name of that, because I keep double guessing myself. Now, I believe it's like the Chalice of something. But where is the... there she is. Down here on the sides. So here we have the Glorious Fae Enchantress fighting in hand-to-hand combat. Let's have a little look. There we go. Chalice of Potions. I knew I was saying it right. I just never played Bretonnians. But it's good against armor. Despite the fact it does magic damage, it can get up some pretty good kills. And down goes the cannon. It even lost one of its cannons to that as well. So decent play there by the Bretonnians, mopping them up in the back lines. Dragonback Slayers have been pinned in. They're desperately trying to drag down that Damsel of Beast. But at the same time, it is allowing a ton of friendly fire to come in on that Damsel. She got absolutely nuked there and may actually break because of that, which is pretty hilarious. Dragonback Slayers are down to 1 unit, and it looks like the hero core is unfortunately going to break for the most part. Oh, no, they're standing relatively strong. Manticore, though, has come in here and done a decent amount of damage. Gotrek just down to 775 health. Quest Knight's going to fall back, so at this point he simply needs to use all his ammunition on his archers, and he should have the day. Decent amount of ammunition left on almost all the units. Some of them are running a little bit low, but that's just so much damage coming in, it's going to be really tough. Thunderers have returned though, as well as some Longbeards with great weapons in the distance, which should be able to come back and maybe affect the game, but they're so low, this Cav can simply rotate out there and shut those guys down. Fae Enchantress, still relatively untouched or unscathed at this point, can move forward, and Earthbloods as well could be used to heal up some of these glorious Men-at-Arms and foot squires who are simply waiting at the top of the hill. They got very bloodied and beaten up themselves though, but look at this glorious firepower coming in. Gotrek's Doom has been popped, giving that 44% damage resistance, which is really nice clutch play coming in there. But looks like all the archers are going to be switching over to the Thane for his troubles. The Gotrek down to 154 health now is going to start to struggle. It looks like Peasant Bowman, yeah, simply decide to move out the way. Armor losses do set in, and down Gotrek goes. Nice game there, bringing it back to 1-1. Cav versus Dwarfs is always risky, indeed. What a spicy spear. That was certainly some spicy stuff. That must have been such a morale-crushing victory. Yeah. First pick Bretonnian, so the no ban win. It was pretty It's pretty tough going up against ChosenOne the best times, but Bretonian play, that was pretty close overall. You can see the Foot Squires really did get knackered. Triple gold chevron Foot Squires, all is this madness? And a lot of silver ones as well. Really helped trade pretty effectively. I think the great weapons actually worked against IcePower here. He needed those shields to help protect against the peasant archer fire. I'm assuming they brought great weapons to help deal with cav and so forth, but you don't expect too much cav, simply because slayers are such a good answer for them, and he already had 2 units of those overall. Grombrindle, though, going down like a true champ with 108 kills. Assumed you'd go cav and foot squires. So that is a problem in this game. Sometimes you can kind of overthink things a little bit too much. So we are going to be mixing up the map now. And let us go to a glorious troll country. Troll country. Where's the map? Let's update the scores and I'll come chill out with you guys. So ChosenOne, bringing the set back now in very good fashion overall. Just quickly check my Discord. Looks like we've got no problems in there. Just a few people typing different stuff. IcePower says cool, cool. And ice to pick. And bam. I'm really hoping this goes all the way, so we get to see some blind picks at the end as well, which is always really fun. I don't want my lizard trinkets back. I don't want a refund. Taking the hill really helped. Yeah, having the high ground there, which you can always do against the dwarfs because they simply do not have the pace to rush up that hill quick enough. The trebuchet, I would like to see the crew come off and hide behind the hill, then reappear later on. Just keep that cannon micro, you know, on point, keep him honest. So the trebuchet did kind of die a little bit quickly. But at the same time, I suppose he's focusing that down and not the foot squires, which are the kind of this real secret power there, as well as those peasant bowmen. IcePower is picking dark elves, banning high elves, and coast. I have a feeling, well, ChosenOne's been pretty crazy today, but I've got a feeling he may see him bring some wood elves. And I think they're a pretty good counter to dark elves. I bet 30 more on a 3-1 ChosenOne. Man, no refunds, Aristo. You lost those lizard trinkets, I'm afraid. You lost them. Troll Country, OG, one of the coolest maps in the game. Very close quarters overall. And a real blood and thunder affair straight at the gate. You often see 2 melee heavy armies coming crashing into each other, as it is rather hard to skirmish on such a small map, but it's really fun and well balanced. Sorry, I just welcome someone to my Discord. If you guys do want to get involved in events like this in the future, King of Hills, best of 5s, tournaments, all that good stuff, or just chill out with a load of cool guys, feel free to join my Discord. There's a link just down below in the description. I'm already up 20, I'm good. Indeed, Shelby, indeed. So, back in the day, speaking of Peaky Blinders, for those who don't know, it's basically about some British gangsters, Razor Gang gangsters between World War I and World War II, so kind of old-timey gangsters, but they're called the Shelbys. It's like a very powerful, kind of like intimidating name in the Peaky Blinders universe. Now, back when I was at uni, I lived with a family, and we had a little dog called Boomer, and he was awesome, really friendly, but really a little bit stupid as well. And he was staying somewhere else because my landlady was on holiday, and he actually escaped. So he was staying at her mum's, he escaped and ran all the way back from a place called Shoreham to Worthing, which is a very long trek for a little dog to make. Somehow he knew the way all the way back, and I was at work, so I wasn't there to let him in, and I was the only one at home. So our neighbours picked him up to look after him until I did return. But they left a message through the letterbox just saying, "We have your dog," and it was just signed Shelby. And I was watching Peaky Blinders at the time. I was like, oh my god, gangsters have my dog. I don't know what to do. And I had no idea who the Shelbys were. I didn't know the name of the last name of the neighbours. It was an absolute nightmare. Do you want to play against Norska or Beastman? ChosenOne coming in cocky today. He did say he was going to try quite a few like fun different builds and stuff. So it looks like we're going to see some Norscan action. I'm a big fan of the Norscans personally. I think they're really fun to play. They do kind of have, you know, mainly one style, big old rush, but it's very powerful overall. And on this map, we'll be able to neuter the skirmish potential of the Dark Elves. I barely even play this this faction anyway. So he's not too big fan of the Norscans apparently. It was not funny, man. It was so stressful. He's a lovely dog, but to put it into context of how stupid he was, We once heard him crying from downstairs. So me and my housemate, we go downstairs to see what's wrong with him. And he had rolled over. So he was still on his back and he got stuck against the wall. And all he had to do was roll back the way he came. But instead, he constantly kept trying to roll into the wall and just sat there crying until we pulled him out. It was the most ridiculous thing of all time. It was so stupid. But he was great. He was brilliant. So, ChosenOne, pooping over my lovely Norseguns here. I quite like playing them, but I'm a big fan of the Viking kind of aesthetic in general, so of course Norseguns do fulfill that role. Let's have a little drink here. Keep us alive. Good, good. Well, let's sort out their builds. Hope you guys are enjoying so far. Let's just refresh my YouTube on my phone. It does keep getting a little bit stuck. Sometimes in Germany, when the postman is foreign, you get a notification that your delivery is at a neighbour's. No advertisement. Wait, what? Gotta love doofy animals, indeed. Man, so I delivered a takeaway yesterday. So I streamed yesterday. We had a real cool King of the Hill, like a mini one. With some really good fun, quite a few cool games. And I ordered a takeaway, and it was the first time I was using not Just Eat, the other one, Deliveroo. So like a delivery service. Ordered some Thai food, I think. It was really, really good in the end. But I could see him coming up because they have like a tracker on their bike. And he was outside my house for ages, and like no one knocked. So I go outside, and I see a delivery driver getting back on top of his bike with no package for me at all. So I like yell after him, and he turns around. He's like, "Oh, like crap!" And he just like sprints off. I was like, "What?" And it turns out he had delivered to like someone the other, like completely different down the complete wrong side of the road, and just dumped it off without telling anyone and left. So luckily, no one stole my food in the end. But my house is like crazy hard to find. In fairness, it's down like you have to go behind a restaurant, like down this real sketchy looking alley to actually find it. Cool, good to see so many people watching. Hope you are enjoying. Feel free to smash that thumbs up button if you are enjoying. Lets me know that you guys want to see more best of fives in the future. IcePower is ready, and so is ChosenOne. Let's get this battle underway. Trying to think who to get for the next best of five. So IcePower unfortunately missed out on the last King of the Hill because he was switching over. We didn't have time to get him in. So I thought I'd organise this for today. And I think ChosenOne also just about missed out on it. So I thought we'll get these two champs up against each other. And it's been some good games so far. Pretty close calls. That first game was intense. It was pretty damn insane. It can be very frustrating when you go up against a nasty hero caught into the late game. Oh, they're legally not allowed to throw in ads. Oh, that's amazing. They think no advertisement is the name of the neighbour. Oh, that's really funny. That's kind of cool, actually. You can pet no ads. Nah, we just get everything chugged through. Unfortunately, where I'm staying, we're not allowed any dogs. I want to get a pet duck, just for the channel's sake, but we're not allowed one of those either, apparently. I was tempted to get a goldfish, name him Swim Shady, though, which I thought would be pretty funny. But haven't got around to that just yet. So here we are, Troll Country, the glorious map. One of my favourites, actually, in Total War. Some people don't like it because it doesn't give you room to skirmish, but I think it's pretty good fun. We do have slightly raised hill areas dotted around kind of in the corners of the map, as well as some trees, so you can do some hiding and sneaky stabbing. One of my favourite things to do is actually to hide a Slan Mage Priest in here. Can do some pretty good work. But in we come with IcePower. Looks like he's got a bit of a style, and his style is to go quite tight and robust with a lot of high elite infantry. So let's see. We do have Black Orc Corsairs in the front line, rocking alongside some Dread Spears. Witch Elves are going to be placed in a secondary line, and they're going to be backed up by triple Black Guard of Nagarond, one of them chevroned up as well. We do have Sinesh's Harvesters, Doomfire Warlocks here as well, very, very powerful overall. And we do have a little bit of blob, so we have the Double Assassins, who can be pretty damn nasty overall. This is going to do huge damage to any characters they can catch, as they both have Assassin's Trophy as well as Web of Shadows. We have Morathi down here on foot as well. Of course, coming in with Soul Sealer as expected. Wand of Caradon, Heart Render and Dark Sword, and of course she has her Enchanting Beauty, which is very powerful indeed. So, nice little box build is going to certainly do some decent work. Now, can the Norscans break through it? They have some Norscan Ice Wolves in deep reserve over here at the moment, as well as some hiding behind the enemy. Looks like those are Warhounds. And for the front line, we have Marauder Berserkers mixed in with basic Marauders, so going very, very wide. They're still going to be able to wrap around this force. Triple Marauder Horsemen with their nice thrown axes will be able to pick apart this build quite happily for a decent amount of time, as they are going to be protected by the Beasts of Tanashnar, which are Regiment of Renown and do have a bonus versus large, so they can do some decent work overall. More Norscan Ice Wolves as well. Double Skin Wolves, just the basic ones, so no armour unfortunately, but these guys still can do great work. They have Regeneration, Frenzy, so they're here for the long haul. We also have the big old Wulfric the Wanderer. That boat could be very key to how this engagement goes. The nasty boat catching those Blackguard of Nagron can do some disgusting damage. Hunch of Champions and Fight or Die. So pretty fun build overall. Caster-wise, we do have a familiar Belfiend of Shadows coming with Pendulum, Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, and Shield of Scrolling. So Pendulum and boat play is going to be very key here to take out to these elite Blackguard of Nagron units. Sweet, sweet. Looks like these boys are ready. There's quite a small army count by both players. Should be some good fun. Let's see some murder. Looks like the Nautical Warhounds have been repositioned. They're not going to really have too many good targets. They can do decent damage up against Snatcher's Harvesters if they can catch them. But apart from that, there's no archer pressure as the blob does start to come forward. K-Knight Assassins are starting to advance. They do have their little crossbows. Going to be launching some shots into the Marauder Horseman, but taking a javelin right to the private area there. Looks like he did unfortunately fall off for this assassin, but in come the Beast of Tanashnar as well, going to be trying to hunt these guys down as much as possible before feigning back as such as half the Warlocks do start to press. But this could be a good trap if you can lure these guys out, hop on top of them with the Beasts. They'll do some fantastic work against these guys, and it looks like they're trying to drag them out of position. But nice control here by IcePower, pulling back behind his Black Ark Corsairs. We're going to see a ton of early Javelin skirmish play here. And you can see, Norscans simply going to retreat. There's no need for them to face this head-on at the moment. They have so much ammunition that they could use up. Looks like Norscan Warhounds as well, just lurking around on the peripheries. And in come the Skin Wolves with a thunderous charge in that centre pocket. But a huge Soul Sealer goes down, catching a ridiculous number of units. However, it's not the best use of it necessarily, because Morathi, of course, isn't going to be getting any heals from this. So as it could have been the one dropped by the Harvesters, which would have healed them up a little bit nice. So Black Ark Corsairs taking a bit of damage, but again, they're not really the key targets. These guys certainly want to be hopping down on the Blackguard and Nagrons. In come the Skin Wolves, doing some nice cycle charging into the flanks of these guys, tearing them up before retreating once again into the sunset. Need to be careful. Blackguard and Nagrons are here. The assassins might be able to slow them down as well. Doomfire Warlocks have popped in, but Norscan Warhounds plus more of Berserkers should be able to fend them off. Wulfric is dropping his way over there as well. So I'm going to be interested to see these boats and pendulums. I'm going to try and catch them as much as possible, so I think they can really determine this game. Skinwolves are having to fall back here as much as possible. They have broken off the Black Ark Corsairs. Witch Elves do come in. They do rampage more Berserkers, but Berserkers are going to have a fun fight regardless. Lovely boat coming down through the Black Ark Corsairs as well as the Blackguard of Nagron, doing some huge damage. Now the Witch Elves are going to be able to defeat the Mauler Berserkers here, but it looks like we are going to have a fat pendulum coming down as well. Oof! Huge damage onto those Witch Elves, completely destroying them, and the Beasts and the Berserkers should be able to clear them up now with really good efficiency. So some nice magic play by the Norscans, certainly helping out and pushing the balance of power early into their favour, but you can really never count out the Dark Elves with their nasty Soul Sealers. And in comes a nice Soul Sealer as well, right onto the Wulfric this time, as Morathi does try and chase him down. She's not the worst duelist in the world, and with her halberd she can certainly do some great damage. But if Hunter Champions does get popped on her and Wulfric decides to fight this, she could also get stomped pretty damn hard. Dread Spears are slowly going to be dragged down by Marauder Berserkers here. The Blackguard and Nagrons are pushing through, although both units are pretty beat up. Some lovely cycle charge coming in by the Skin Wolves has really started to drag those guys down. And the Marauder Horsemen, there was just nothing to counter them here, and they're free to fire as many javelins as they want into the back of these Blackguard of Nagrons, just going to allow Marauders and other units to drag them down. Now, poor Wulfric, it looks like, does have Assassin's Trophy popped on him, as well as being Rampage, which has put him in a huge pickle here, as double Assassins are trying to drag him down. They can do some decent work. At the same time, he's punching back pretty damn hard. Raff needs to go over there and try and snipe out Wulfric. Over on the other side of the battlefield. However, Blackguard and Low slowly being dragged down by simple sheer weight of number from their Belfiend. Can probably come in as, once again with some lovely pendulums if he does have them. Markov's Mystifying Miasma is popped on the Blackguard Nagron, doing a bit of damage and slowing them down. So Wolfric is finally free. Scroll of Shielding keeping him alive for sure. Another Soul Stealer coming down. Looks like the Blackguard managed to dodge the worst of that pendulum this time. Nice control by IcePower. And Wolfric going to have to flee as much as possible, but lovely play with the Scroll of Shielding. So he needs to bounce back, finish off these Black Arc Corsairs. Any units which have kind of blobbed out, or fallen out from the blob, I should say, just pick them off as much as possible. A boat coming down once again, tearing through these Blackguard and elite troops, getting some really fantastic value. But there's still a okay amount of ammunition, at least for the late game, on these Mordor Horsemen, constantly throwing in their shots, and yeah, Blackguard are starting to break. Balance power is relatively in favour of Norscans here. Black Arc Corsairs have been terrified and are going to easily be chased off. Skinwolves can simply regen at this point. So Horsemen are running relatively low on ammunition actually, not too bad. I mean, 3 volleys here, and 2 here. They really need to choose their targets wisely. In comes some Marauders, they are Rampage, and they can still do some okay damage against this blob, but all the Blackguard are very, very low. It's simply going to be a matter of pulling apart the Assassins one by one, which of course Hunter Champions can be very effective at doing. Now, the Norscans are relatively beat up as well. Norscan Warhounds down here with some more Berserkers are wavering simply by being nearby. Skinwolves are going to be healing up this entire time, and Wolfric still can be a bit of a beast, but perhaps the Hero Core is going to be able to carry this for the Dark Elves. They are pushing forward. Marauders just simply using up the remains of their ammunition into the back of these Blackguard and Witch Elves, and these Witch Elves are starting to rout. And the problem here for the Dark Elves, every time something routs, the Horsemen can simply chase them down. IcePower already saying GG. He thinks it's game over. It's going to be pretty tough, I don't know. So Witch Elves going to be cleaned up here, just as the Dark Elves that do start to attempt to chase as much as possible. Wolfric, of course, not going to give them the ability to attack here, but to be honest, his terror could be pretty powerful, as army losses is balance power is going pretty close to army losses here. And yeah, Marauder Horsemen simply going to float over here, finish off the Black Hawk Corsairs after they've destroyed these Witch Elves, and in come the Marauders as well as the Ice Wolves, just trying to pin down these units as much as possible. Marathi goes absolutely flying as a boat does come down. It looks like, to be honest, it catches way more of his own troops there, but still, both Blackguard have been broken off here. And Assassins, there is just simply far too much. Hunter of Champions popped on the healthy one, which is really fantastic play. Assassin's Trophy is popped on Wolfric, but there's no one here to damage him, really. He's going to go straight after those Assassins himself, and a beautiful Soul Stealer catching the entirety of the Norscan build, but it looks like it wasn't overcast or anything, just a standard one. And one of the Assassins is already gone, second one is going as well. Marathi being so healthy is the only thing keeping this Dark Elf force together. Looks like some Skinwolves are starting to rout and break, but they will be able to regen and most likely come back. One Assassin has been completely shattered or killed, and the other is running for the hills. And there's so many fast moving units left for the Norscans, there's no hope this guy is going to be able to escape. Marathi's leadership getting rather low here, down to 35. And yeah, she's pretty cool. Spinning her halberd around, she kind of reminds me of a what's his name, like a Lubu style character with her kind of hairdo and halberd, but she's going to be getting dragged down, unfortunately for her. Berserkers simply going to be falling back as well as they finish off this Assassin. Ice Wolves doing a decent job overall the entire game, but helping drag down Marathi is a nice little bonus for them. Looks like we're going to get another fat Soul Stealer coming down, and it looks like ChosenOne didn't notice this, so some really lovely Soul Stealers so far all game, and no way is this going to bring it back. Look at the Norscans, they are incredibly beat up, and this could finish off quite a few units here. Marathi is going to be getting healed up. Norscan Ice Wolves are starting to run for the hills, as well as Skin Wolves have broken, so blobbing up there at the death was a little bit risky. Wolfric is probably going to be more than capable of beating down Marathi, however. No longer having the Assassin's Trophies, Wolfric is still a 4,600 health killing machine. Yes, Marathi has bonus versus large, but every hit he connects is going to do so much damage. So, nice play there at the end to try and bring it back, but to be honest, with Wolfric in here, I don't think Marathi stands too much of a chance. I'm back. Who won the Brett versus Dowie fight? The Bretonans did, dog. The Bretonans did indeed. The 100 Champions has been popped, and this is really going to hurt Marathi a huge amount. She kind of has 0 armor, and down she goes. A very close game, though. Nice almost comeback at the death by the Dark Elves, but ChosenOne is going 2-1 up in this best of 5 showdown. Some good stuff indeed. So overall, pretty damn good fun. Marathi, 130 kills, certainly paid her weight in gold. I do like the kind of more Death Star build here. It certainly can work up against the Norskins, but they had nothing to counter the Marauder Horsemen once they lost that skirmish game, which perhaps he didn't think he needed to bring because the map is so small. Managed to push... couldn't push them off, and they just did so much damage over the course of the whole battle. Lovely cycle charge coming in as well. Ship is so balanced. GG. Next map will be... Let's have a little look through. Let's go River and Maxon. It's my favourite map. ChosenOne said he thinks the ship is OP. It's basically a free pendulum. It is very, very powerful. So ChosenOne is up 2-1 here. So if ChosenOne wins this next game, he does win overall. If IcePower wins, we will be going to the final game, which will be blind picks. Looks like he is going to Beastmen. Cool. What do you guys think of that game? It was some pretty good, damn good entertaining stuff all round, I think. Two pretty fun builds. Oh no, it looks like my chat has frozen again. Boo. God, I need a new phone so bad. Or a second monitor. A second monitor would be so useful, but of course they're rather expensive, so. I think North Korea are pretty good. They're a little bit predictable that you're obviously just going to go for rush, but it doesn't matter. Like, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face by a North Korean war chief. Like, you can prepare for rushes all you want, but they're still going to hit you eventually. It can be some really nasty stuff. Cool, let's hop back on to the YouTube app. And I'm back. Wolfrick's stupid ship. Aristain was clearly not a fan of that. Yeah, it's very good. I'd like to compare it to a... Can you overcast Pendulum? I think you can. It'd be interesting to see like the difference. Not sure if you can. Looks like these guys are just chatting. So, ChosenOne is going Beastmen and banning Lizardmen. Which is a good ban. Lizardmen are pretty decent up against these guys. You can go like even like Thunderous One, Mazdamundi, onto a Zlak, and even if they bring Double Giant, you just drop Curse of Midnight Wind and just beat the crap out of the Giants. What are you saying there, Poison Ducky? Oh, Wolfrick's ship is hard to dodge. Yeah, it's a very powerful ability. Wolfrick is, like... Frog can be okay in certain matchups, but realistically, it is best, I think, just to go Wolfrick. His ship's very powerful, and so is Hunter Champions. IcePower is going Coast now. I've seen him play Coast a few times. I know he's a big fan of them. Beastmen are notoriously good up against Coast for the most part, I would think. They're very good at rushing and so forth. However, crabs can be a bit of a problem, but Razor Gore herds are very good here as well. They're cheap, they're cheerful, they have decent mass to pin in troops and have nice AP, and they're pretty damn fast as well. So it should be some fun stuff. Overcast Pendulum does not immediately shatter goblins with one cast. I'm assuming it does break them though. But you don't really want to be using it on goblin archers. You probably want to be using it on more elite troops, I suppose. I mean, it depends. It depends on the situation. I quite like using it on elven archers as well, because they're so tightly packed. You've had bad matchups so far, so it feels honourable. I don't know, I mean, Crab Rush can do some decent work here. I mean, if you can protect your back line, it can do decent work, but it's a tough matchup for sure. Yes, they do struggle against large, so why are they good versus Coast? Because the main way Coast play Aristodemus is by boxing in with a shite ton of guns, and Beastmen are one of the best rush factions in the game at overwhelming, getting behind enemy lines and forcing them down. But honestly, you're like the first person I've ever heard say Beastmen don't struggle with a large. I honestly recommend like go and check out like Falcon's list build. Like all his counters to Beastmen are just large monsters. These guys aren't bad. I love that. Honestly, I have no idea. I always win it from both sides. Maybe it's balanced then. Maybe we can do that as a balanced game. But again, Coast, they can go Crab Rush, but again, I suppose it's slightly predictable. But you can only bring so many crabs. Should be some good stuff. I used to counter Coast with Beastmen. But I don't like playing Coast too much at all. I now counter them with High Elves, which I think's better. I mean, you do have to be a little bit careful for mortars and so forth, but as long as you can deal with them, your archers can really rake up some huge value. Which is some glorious stuff, so let me double check Discord quick. I've got a few messages on there. Do-do-do. Cool. Looks like we're all good there. Hop back over here. Let these guys sort out their builds. So this could be the fun game, guys. Or we may have one more after this. If IcePowers can draw it level to a 2, or we will be doing blind picks, which is some really good fun stuff. I have no idea who I was on. I know IcePowers does play these guys quite a lot, and ChosenOne bringing a ton of armies he doesn't normally play. We have seen 0 elves, which is shocking from Mr. ChosenOne himself. He is a member of ODM, and of course ODM always bring elves, as far as I'm aware. They're big fans. Aristo, how are you doing with the tree men recently, by the way? I know you've recently discovered how secretly they are the most OP fin in the game. IcePower is ready. Just waiting on the legendary ChosenOne. I like River Maxon as a map. Relatively well balanced. Nice little bits of trees in the centre pocket so you can close down the enemy, especially if they're trying to go big guns and so forth. Nice hills as well with a little pocket in the centre so you can do some nice flanking abilities. I think it's a fun map. And here we go. I'm excited. Let's see some death. Though, I kind of have to root against Coast a little bit as a Lizardman main. It hurts my soul every time I see that Coast symbol, unfortunately. So here we are, River Maxon. If we don't get to see any lizards, at least we get to see some Lizardman architecture. As you see these lovely pyramids in the distance. I believe in end times they go all a bit crazy and actually turn into spaceships and stuff, which is an interesting creative choice, I suppose, but they still look cool nonetheless. So you have a nice open plain in the centre pocket, and as I said previously, trees in the centre as well, so you can sneak up on your enemy if you want to. There's trees over on the far side as well as this nice hilly terrain, and all around the periphery there is more trees for sneaky stabbings. Often you actually sometimes see artillery pieces placed up here as well. If you push forward, it's a relatively easy place to box off your opponent and defend. You've got to be a little bit careful, but the edge of the map is a little way away, so you can still box up slightly. And here we go. So for the forces of IcePower and his undead buddies, we are going to see some ethereal forces, but first off, he has some scurvy dogs, looks like double of those guys. And in the front line, we're going to have a mixture of zombie pirate deckhand polearm mobs, as well as the basic units, so dotted all the way along, as well as double Cyrene. So he's certainly a big fan of his ethereal units. If you don't have any magic damage, so be prepared for these guys. They can be a big pain. They cause terror, of course, which is very powerful in the late game. Armor piercing, all round, pretty cool unit. We do have the Lamprey's Revenge, who I feel like got a slight colour scheme change with the update. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just because I don't play them, but their shells look a little bit darker. But regardless, they look incredibly badass. So Mr. Krabs here and Zoidberg going to be doing some decent work overall. These guys have regeneration, armor piercing, and are very, very sticky indeed. We have zombie gunnery mob bombers as well. And I believe we've got 2 of those guys that can do some fantastic damage if left unimpeded. We have a vampire fleet captain of vampires with Invocation from the Heck and Raised Dead, and Luther Harkin up on top of his undead Terror Goose here, which is such a fantastic model. And of course, he's going to be bringing all the expected Hornswaggle, Power Siphon, all that good stuff. So, for the forces of the Beastmen and ChosenOne trying to clinch this best of 5 series, we do have some Gore herds, it looks like, in Deep Reserve or Deep Vanguard. But we also have a ton of Ungore herds in the front line. So, Ungores dotted all the way along, so nice, cheap and cheerful. Some Gore herds as well for a tiny bit more added punch. And it looks like we are going to be having a Chaos Spawn rush. So, triple Chaos Spawn, double Giant as well. The Beastmen Giants always look so goddamn cool. Coming in with their big old horns and kind of like nose piercing and so forth. So double giant, we've got Malagor the Dark Omen, the Turkey Lord himself. So no Morgul and mass summon build, which is always a cool thing to see. He's coming with Arcane Conduit, Savage Dominion, so he can summon a Cygor at least, and Vile Tide, which over the course of battle can do some great consistent work. We have double Harpies up in the skies for nice backline pressure, as well as some Razor Gore Chariots. Now, those ethereal units are going to be tough to deal with. The Vile Tide is certainly going to have to be used on those to try and bring them down, because the rest of his army, there is no magic damage. Does Malagor do magic damage in combat? No, he doesn't. So those two units could be a bit of a problem. But cool stuff indeed. These Chaos Spawn as well, with all the tails and stuff, are just are so unbelievably stupid, but hilariously kind of good at the same time. Look at all these horrible snapping mouths. Looks like just Scare Dogs on the flank. They're going to catch some Gore herds relatively early. Looks like we have 2 hidden in the trees, just in case there is going to be a bit of a gun line, but only the double bombers, so it's going to be a slow kind of pushing build coming in by IcePowers. Just going to be waddling up as slow as kind of dandly as he needs to, and then the bombers can do some really fantastic work clearing out chaff, while the Sirens pin everything in here. Now, Luther Harkin is going to have an absolute field day against this build. As long as he can get past those pesky Harpies, he can simply sit on top of Malagor, who only has 3,700 health, as well as 15 armor, so he's incredibly squishy. Luther Harkin can simply fly over top of him and pistol whip him to death, like, really comfortably. So both forces are being engaged, and it looks like actually, for the first moment, we're going to have a bit of a repositioning here, as in the trees as well. Gore herds do start to move up. Hidden foes have been discovered. Luther Harkin going to push forward, obviously going to be trying to hunt down Malagor as fast as possible. Harpies are going to screen, and it looks like he's going to be running for the trees. So, we'll wait a couple of minutes to make sure that the counts do advance. They do need to be attacking here, as Luther Harkin doesn't count on his own. Good luck, have fun, which is all glorious stuff. Harpies, it looks like one is going to be caught here by a breath attack, which, you know, only kills a couple. And I mean, he doesn't have too many other good targets, but it's not the best idea to pop it on these guys, I don't think. Looks like there's going to be some fighting in the trees. The Scare Dogs do try to escape, and the handgunners are now going to be shooting. So we do have the black spots here. Siren's going to be pushing forward as well, as the Ungore herds just waddling forward. The Giants will be pretty good up against the majority of this build, apart from, of course, the Sirens. They really don't want to get surrounded by. Gore herds are going to be fleeing back here as well. Scary Dogs are floating around the sides, and the Chaos Spawn do start to push forward. So it looks like Luther Harkin is being a little bit frustrated up in the sky by some Harpies, but he's more than capable of out-trading those guys. Scary Dogs pushing into the back lines as well, and I'm afraid we're probably going to see a Malagor snipe here very early games. He's going to be dropping a Cygor summon, no doubt, as he tries to escape as much as possible. Giants are going to be waddling over, and they're more than capable of beating down Luther Harkin, and Malagor managed to escape, but not too badly. Harpies are hopping on top of Scary Dogs here, so it was a trap almost, as Luther Harkin takes a little bit of a beating from these Giants, and a big old club on his retreat. A little bit of a spank on the bum there as he does fall back. And the bombers in the front line can be doing some fantastic work up against the Ungore herds, but in comes some Gore herds who have wrapped all the way around the flank. Unfortunately for these Chaos Spawn, they have been pinned in by Sirens. They can still do some decent work simply due to their high damage output. There's also been some Gore herds as well hunting it down at the black spot. A lovely Vile Tide on top of these Sirens is going to make these guys waver heavily and get them down to about a third health. So fantastic play so far. And the backline heavily compromised as well, or at least the pressure of the back line, as Scary Dogs are being forced back by Harpies. One unit has been shattered with the help of Luther Harkin, but Malagor has now got to the safety of the front lines and his double giant bodyguard. So really nice save there by ChosenOne after a really sketchy moment in the beginning. Razor Chariots have been pinned in by these ethereal Sirens here. It's really not good for them. They need to get moving as fast as possible. Gore herds will struggle as well. Now, Chaos Spawn are a fantastic unit all round, in my opinion. Their Unbreakable is so goddamn powerful. They do push back on top of these bombers, and they will chew through them very, very quickly. Looks like Malagor once again drops a Vile Tide on the Sirens. Brilliant play with Malagor here, up to only 16 kills, but they've all been on the Sirens, getting some great value. Cygor has been summoned and used in combat, as he is, mainly used nowadays in the back lines to shut down the bombers, doing some decent damage overall. Gore herds have popped into the back line, shutting down deckhand mobs, and the black spots are pretty heavily compromised. These sirens have been slowly dragged down by a combination of Chaos Spawn and Vile Tides. However, Luther Harkin is still incredibly healthy as well. So Bomber's still going relatively strong. This Saga actually seems to be struggling to take them down a bit more than I first thought. Razor Chariots have managed to free themselves from those pesky Sirens who are slowly going down, and they're now doing pretty decent work cycle charging through the back line. Luther Harkin is pistoling in where possible. It looks like onto the Giant. He should probably be focusing down Malagor as much as possible. Another Glorious Vile Tide down on the zombie pirate gunnery mobs is going to be forcing them back as well. The Lamprey's Revenge are struggling in the front line, of course, up against the power of the Giant, who's having an absolute dream day, in his opinion, and he just flattens zombies left, right, and centre. Hellspawn's so been worn down here. With the help of a Giant, they are absolutely destroying this poor vampire fleet captain, who's going to be attempting to scuttle away, and with a lovely summon as well, should be able to get out there as quickly as possible. Red Gold Chariots just roaming through the back lines, pushing off deckhand mobs as well as bombers, doing fantastic work all round. Sirens have managed to stabilise a little bit. Bombers doing some nice damage in here despite the losses they have taken so far. So it looks like the first Cygor is going to be disappearing here. Chaos Spawn have destroyed this back line, and it looks like the Beastmen going relatively strong for the most part. Bombers are now going to be shut down by this huge overload that happened on the left hand flank. Double Giants in the centre pocket as well are easily going to crump the Lamprey's Revenge. And Malagor, he's been hornswaggled and he's down to about half health, but he's somehow been kept alive by ChosenOne, some fantastic micro. Another lovely Vile Tide does come in, pushing away these bombers. Looks like Malagor is unfortunately once again going to be attempted sniped at least by Luther Harkin, but he's getting knocked down, which will make him a little bit more tanky. He's getting rather low on health, but in come the Chaos Spawn as well as that Giant slamming into Luther Harkin, although a terrified Malagor is going to be running for the hills there. I kind of wish Malagor could fly. I believe he could actually do that on tabletop if I remember correctly, with Giant Wings. Maybe even it's just an upgrade. I think it'd make him much more viable than just constantly taking the pesky, the other Lord, whatever his name is, Morga the Shadowgate. So Malagor, unfortunately, is looking to be going down here, although, I mean, the Giant is nearby. In comes some Scurvy Dogs as well to try and help break him and finish him off, and that could be a way back into this game like we saw in the previous game with the terror of the Sirens up against the low leadership of the Beastmen. However, Giants have surprisingly good leadership, so they will at least be able to stay and fight for a decent amount of time. Malagor, oh, he's struggling. He's struggling at -6 leadership here, and he is going to be routing, and these Scurvy Dogs can quite easily chase him off. However, there's still a decent amount of Chaos Spawn left. A nice big fat breath attack is going to be coming in, although it looks like it was caught by the Harpies, which is hilarious as they dive in to sacrifice themselves to help protect this Giant and Chaos Spawn, who are much more important units. Lamprey's Revenge down to just 1,400 health and only 3 models, and a big old club strike comes in on those pesky crabs. Malagor has been assassinated here by Luther Harkin, down to 186 health. There is no way he's going to be coming back, but the rest of the coast build is completely falling apart. Lovely Scurvy Dog play, though, is going to be chasing off these Razorgore herds. Chariots finishing those off. Vampire Fleet Admiral trying to escape where possible, and the Sirens are so low at this point. Terror could be so key if just a couple of them do indeed survive. So no second Cygor summon, unfortunately, as Malagor, the ultimate turkey, does lay face down in the dirt. But a great play of him overall, keeping him alive as long as he did. But now this is the problem. All of the Beastmen are starting to break and run. And yes, the Double Giants can be very effective up against Luther, but he has a decent amount of pistol shots left. If you can fire in, do enough damage, and then break them with army losses, that could be a huge comeback once again by IcePowers. So in come the Scurvy Dogs, just going to be chasing down Ungor herds and the like, which is always a good idea. Blood splattering everywhere as Luther does start to roam through these poor Ungors. Double Giant is going to be very strong and tough to break down, although Chaos Spawn as well, being unbreakable, are going to be able to help support those guys. The rest of the Beastmen force does just completely crumble as Malagor goes down, and that's one of the reasons as well he's not a very competitive pick. He's relatively easy to snipe, and with such low leadership, you can't really risk it with the Beastmen, as these Gore herds do get chased off by these horrible and disgusting Sirens. So over in the main fight, it looks like that Vampire Fleet Captain hasn't managed to escape. A big breath attack is going to be coming in, doing some pretty decent damage on top of the Giant. And this Captain, there's no chance he's going to escape here. He's going to be beaten down and killed. I believe poison is on these. The Chaos Spawn of Beastmen do indeed have poison, so they can slow him down, make sure the Giants can catch him. So all these pistol shots need to go into these Giants to try and bring them down. But But is it going to be enough? I'm not sure. The Sirens pin them in and then some decent cycle charging by Luther Harkin. Perhaps there is hope yet. Scurvy Dogs chase down Gore Herds and Ungore Herds, which is to be expected. These poor beastmen can fight ferociously when fully healthed, but low leadership, they just simply shatter quite quickly. Harpies have been completely shattered here as well. And nice play overall by IcePower, trying to manage the game into the later stages, hunting down straggling units dotted on the side, and also great play by ChosenOne, bringing his units tight together for the final showdown, making that ultimate box. Looks like the pistol shots are in fact going into the Chaos Spawn instead of the Giants. Not sure how I feel about that, as I suppose each shot is kind of killing models, I suppose. Maybe that's kind of the thinking behind it. But at the same time, you can break the Giants, you cannot break the Chaos Spawn. In comes Luther Harkin, he's going to be charging in, which could be a mistake. I think he needed to wait for his Sirens before engaging like this. As it looks like he's trying to cycle. I will have to remind him of the rules. But he must stay in combat. He must stay in combat. Boom, boom. I believe it doesn't count for Noctis because Noctis does count as an artillery piece instead. The Scurvy Dogs have engaged. He's trying his little best, so he's going to have to stand here and fight, at least for the meantime, until these Sirens do catch up here. So he didn't have to engage with Luther because he did have the Scurvy Dogs, but these guys are going to be crumbling and going down. Double Giant's going to be doing some pretty huge damage. He's trying to fall away again, as the Scurvy Dogs are still technically still chasing here, which is all fine. Hunting down at the Gore Herds where possible, and forcing those guys wide. Sirens are going to start to engage in combat. And they're going to be a little bit tough. I mean, they still do decent AP overall. Giants are trying to avoid them as much as possible. It's better to kind of break their leadership. But the Scurvy Dogs, yes, they're doing a fantastic job chasing down these Gore Herds, but they are about to crumble here. It would seem their leadership is minus 17, just 500 health, so they're not too long for this world. But the main engagement is underway now. Chaos Spawn are starting to go down, but the Giants are doing pretty good. Sirens are starting to break, and Luther Harkin could struggle. No worries, man. Looks like small missing damage falls, but it's completely fine. I believe Luther Harkin has to go into combat, but regardless, it's not going to affect the result here anyway. As Beastmen simply too powerful in this late stage. Luther Harkin once again going to float back up into the sky, but he has no late game magic shenanigans to really help deal with these double Giants. Nice cycle charging coming in, trying to break them where possible, but the Sirens are going down just to the sheer brute strength of this glorious Giant brothers here, as they fight back to back for the glory of Malagor and all he meant to Beastmen. And down goes Luther Harkin, doing a weird little hop animation there, as down the mighty beast does go. Good to go, have a look at results there. Now White Poison Ducky. But great play by players. Big fan of this Beastman build. It's great to see not a summon spam, of course, still come in with some spam summons with Malagor. Always good to see him in action. Those Vile Tides probably won him the game, destroying those Sirens, as well as fantastic play with the Chaos Spawn and Giant Rush. This is actually a way I actually quite like to play Chaos myself, coming in with triple Spawn as well as double Giants. Really nice build by IcePower as well. Luther Harkin pitting in work. Just unfortunately got a slowly bit overwhelmed. And, you know, Scurvy Dogs did decent kills all round 22. GG, well played. Count knock counts as artillery. Yeah, that counts as artillery, so that is true. But still, GG, well played. But GG, well played. Great games. So, let's update the scoreboard. That is going to be a 3-1 victory to ChosenOne. Some very close games overall, though. Fantastic series. So, thanks for playing. And a special well done to ChosenOne winning the series 3-1. Nice, and he got slaughtered. Those were some good close battles overall. Thanks for hosting, no worries. So thanks for playing indeed. And a special well done, of course, to ChosenOne winning the series 3-1. Very impressive stuff. Hope you guys did enjoy. They're mine! Give me the lizard trinkets. Hope you guys did enjoy. I'll stick around Oh, I've got to go get food, unfortunately. May get chosen on next week, perhaps for a special fight. It'd be kind of cool, like a little showdown with myself. Alright, I'll discuss that with him afterwards. So any questions, feel free to ask. Massive shout out to the players playing today, as well as you guys for tuning in. It's been pretty good, damn fun overall, with some fantastic matches. I don't know what my favourite match was. There was quite a lot of good stuff all round. But yes, any questions, feel free to ask just now. I will answer and stick around for a few minutes. See you soon, ChosenOne. Check Discord quickly. Looks like we're all good. Cool, cool. So, if there is going to be no questions, I will hop off now. So, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure with some really fun games. And as always, peace, peace, guys, and stay awesome.